Good news, everyone.
Then where are we now?
Do you have idiots on your planet?
You're obviously confused.
It's me, Zoidberg, remember, from high school?
Silence! You're listening to the Slurmcast, a podcast for no reason. Today we will be discussing Futurama Season 1, Episode 5, Fear of a Bot Planet, with your hosts, Tommy Roulette.
Hey, guys.
Pete Woodward.
That's me.
And I'm Rick Horchie. Joining us today on the show is our very special guest, Mr. John Kalman. How you doing, John?
Okay, how are you guys?
Good. Tired.
Now we got that formal thing out of the way. We can just be ourselves.
Oh, okay. I hate women.
I mean, we took care of the customary
dark
wrestling
people.
match to see who, maintains the alpha status. So really, it's all kind of comfortable, and everybody knows their place now.
I like that the fact the tagline on the episode is featuring gratuitous alien nudity.
I put that down too.
I was bummed that there wasn't any.
I know. The closest
Yeah.
we've gotten so far was last episode with Leela in her Ripley outfit, which was pretty great. But
I feel like in the newer ones, after the third cancellation or whatever, I feel like there's some more sexiness.
Rule 34, guys. Just you all have Google.
I mean, we is that because they moved to cable? Do you
I'm
think?
assuming it's the
It has
cable
to be.
thing.
And by the time, like,
Plus,
when
it was also 10 years later.
And,
Right.
and in the movies, too, they were a little more risque with some of that stuff.
That's true.
yeah, by the time all that came out, like the shock value of comedy, like
Yeah.
that tolerance went way up, so they could do more things. Like they were pretty like racy back then. I mean, we always have the discussion about like Randy and being gay and those jokes and all that thing. So they back then that was like
Well, it was on Fox, though. And
Right,
I mean,
and
Fox
Fox-
always had the reputation of being kind of trashy and lowbrow in the first place. So
Right.
why not, after succeeding with the Harvard graduated cast of writers for The Simpsons, why not go to the MIT ones and do that, too? Because everybody loves dick jokes.
right. And they knock on Fox so much, like just them as like Futurama and The Simpsons, but like give it to Fox to like embrace just being like we're just gonna be a trashy like whatever comedy, or that was where they were at, like comedy. That was a big thing back in like the late 90s.
Comedy was pretty big back in the late.
I mean,
it
for
kinda
Fox,
is now,
that was
too.
what they're.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But I'm trying to remember back at that point, because when Fox originally started, I want to say like it was basically only on the weekends, or maybe like
I feel like it was a part-time network when
Yeah.
it came out, kind of like when they did that later with
CW
UPN
and the UPN.
WB.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I remember it was In Living Color, Married with Children,
But that was all Sunday night.
The Simpsons.
what was the call? What were the call letters?
Well, originally, I want to say that Fox was originally 19.
Yeah,
and
was,
WJW was Channel 8.
Yeah, you're right.
And then
So Fox
there was a
started
switcheroo
Shaker
at some
Square.
point.
It was
Yeah.
on Shaker Square.
Yeah.
And you're right. It was a part-time broadcast.
It got weird.
But that was early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 90, maybe even late 80s even.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, maybe at this point they had a full slate of like primetime stuff. I mean, when did
This
wasn't-
episode, by the way,
Yeah, tell us, Tom. What is this? What
Aired-
this Fear of a Bot Planet? I thought you were going to tell
No,
us.
no,
what
no. This
this
episode, Fear of a Bot Planet, aired on
yeah.
April 20th, 1999.
420, Hitler's birthday?
Columbine.
Columbine.
The day
Yeah.
after
Oh, that
Columbine, yeah.
Was that the same year as
Same year.
Columbine?
Columbine
The
was
day. Yeah, that
the
day.
day that year.
Whoa.
So everybody went home and they were all watching Futurama and not the news.
Well, wait, so was this airing during the week?
Columbine was the day before this aired.
Yes. Okay. Maybe it was. No,
I
wait.
thought, no, Columbine was on 420, I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was too. The Oklahoma City bombing
I
was.
thought it was the day before.
Wait,
okay,
was it?
I thought Columbine was 420.
So did I.
1999.
Maybe it was 419.
Maybe it was 419.
Which, I mean, if it was like a Thursday, that would make sense because they bounced this around too.
I think the
And they did that with
OKC
the
bombing was
Simpsons.
420.
But wow, this certainly took a turn.
But
I
it couldn't.
know.
No, because if it was Sunday, if it was Sunday and it was 419, it would have been Saturday. And
We
either
keep
way, it
talking
was
about this will be as boring as apple pie and mom.
I was trying to find like the calendar for 1999, and I went way too far, and I went back to 1942. So hold on one second, and we got
There was
there. It is.
probably some awful stuff going on April 20th, 1942.
Everybody was
We've
getting
taken
ready
on
for
a
that
lot of
party.
clocks.
Yes, there was probably a lot. Giant parties.
Also involving Hitler.
it was a Tuesday. It was April. It was 1999. April.
That sounds
420,
right.
So
So, hey, what I really liked was that right off the bat, when they're at the game, big slurm sign right underneath.
at Blern's Bar.
Yeah,
That
because
was-
it had been absent for a couple episodes.
I remember that was the day JFK was shot.
Wait, are you saying? Wait, what about the Blurn sign?
Well, every time Slurm appears,
sign,
we've just been kind of cataloging it. And for the
Oh,
last couple
gotcha.
episodes, there was no reference to it.
No slurm.
Yeah. I mean, maybe beyond the opening credits. But
No, there. It like. I missed that one.
Yeah, I didn't notice that either.
I'm watching. I'll try and catch them.
You
They
catch
actually
the
showed it a
slurm.
couple
Yeah, you've
times.
done a good job letting us know when it pops up.
Well, I write it in my notes, and then it autocorrects to slurp with an apostrophe.
Nice.
With an apostrophe.
Yeah.
That's
This
good.
podcast is gonna fix that.
Hopefully.
So many people are gonna be texting it and typing it.
Changing it back to slur.
But what so I'm going to take this one, Horchie, about what
Yeah,
the
please, by all
episode
means.
is about before we really get into it. Just a small recap.
it's not about Columbine. Please tell us what
It
it's
is
about.
not. No, yeah. The Planet Express crew is sent to Chopik 9, a planet filled with human-hating robots. And Bender immediately likes the place, being tired of his friends' opinions of him and nothing more than an item. So if you were reading the TV guide back in 1999, that's
It
what
would
you
probably
read.
look something like that.
So, yes. So,
This episode, as I've said a bunch of times, I'm not a huge Bender fan, but it's a good episode. For more than anything, like the second half of it, like Act 2 and 3 are great, but I didn't realize there's a lot of stuff in this first season and the first few episodes that I'm like, oh, those are some of the things that my friends and I reference all the time, and Blern's Ball is one of them heavily. All the Blern's Ball quotes from that little scene or whatever. Three of our closest friends' last name is Burns, and we call them Burns Ball or Blern's or whatever. I have a question. So I'm watching the DVD version of this. You guys are probably watching Netflix.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
there's on the DVD. There's a the spider comes out. He comes out of the thing. That's the seventh inning spider, correct? Do they call him that?
I don't
No, they
remember.
don't.
Did I make that up
They don't
in my
call
head?
him that. He comes out when someone.
When they
hits
have
him.
Well, yeah, it
multi-ball
goes
or something,
multi-ball.
right?
Like
Yeah.
that was the thing that got me was that it turned
That's
into
where
like
it's
a
like
giant
pinball.
game.
Yeah.
It was
I-
basically like
I've been
everything
saying-
broke loose, and then all
Yeah.
of a sudden a spider came.
There might have
out.
been.
Like,
Is there
oh.
a sign that says seventh inning spider?
There
or
wasn't.
something?
I paused it. I rewound it. I've been saying seventh inning spider while watching baseball games for years, and I thought it was something like, okay, here's the other thing. Maybe this is another episode. The Big Green Monster.
different episode?
It's a
Wait,
different episode.
Yes.
Okay, I was waiting for it the whole time. So is there another Blern's Ball episode?
Oh, there's Blern's Ball is yes. Oh,
So do you think the seventh inning spider is in another episode where they
There might be.
say his name or something? Because
there's
I
that
don't
whole,
know.
There's that whole episode where they go to that pizzeria and
Yeah.
they set up the Blern's Ball team, and then there's one where Leela pitches for Blern's Ball. She's the first women pitcher for Blern's Ball.
okay, maybe you know
so
what?
there's a
I didn't
so you're
realize
probably
that.
thinking of other things.
Well, like when they came out with the motorcycle and they're
I
driving
know.
around. And
Oh,
blowing up.
yeah.
So did
Why
you
can't
ever,
baseball now be like that?
Did you ever watch the Upright Citizens Brigade?
Oh, they
the
did
original
have-
sketch series.
they did have the seventh inning.
Yeah.
Bro.
because it was very reminiscent of Pro Thunderball, where I think they had a car drive out, like an armored car drive out onto the field, and explosions and stuff.
I vaguely remember
The
I don't-
show with Amy Poehler and
Yeah,
what's his
the
face, and other
original
guy.
Matt Besser, Ian Roberts, Matt
Matt
Walsh,
Besser
and
was
Amy
on it.
Poehler. Like their original sketch show on Comedy Central They did, Pro Thunderball was like a running gag, but they did a whole episode about the Pro Football League.
Okay.
And they showed a game, and it was just like junkie cheerleaders on the field, and they'd let out dogs. And I wonder, actually, now that I think about it, I wonder which one aired first, because I want to say the UCB show was probably all 3 seasons were done by 1998.
Yeah, well, I think they were. I feel like that was done by the time I moved to Columbus, which was 98.
And that stuff was brilliant, but it's funny. It's probably just parallel thought, or they watched it and just said, we can take this and knock it up. Now, did anybody ever make a Futurama pinball game?
I'm sure there's.
That's a good question. There
something.
should be one, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Brian Hill, if you're listening to this,
Email or something. Tell us
Well,
after the fact.
we have a phone number now, or
Ooh.
Slurmcast podcast phone number.
Oh, boy.
When you guys are listening to this, you can call in. You have to leave a voicemail. You can text it.
What's that number?
The number is area code 216-438-1077.
Cody.
Nice.
1077.
Oh no, sorry, Corey. Is it Corey? What's the Cody hotline or Corey hotline, right?
Corey hotline?
Yeah.
Which Corey?
No, the Lisa Simpson keeps calling the Corey hotline.
I thought this was a Futurama podcast.
I know. We've already brought up Hitler, Columbine, 9/11, The Simpsons.
All things related to Futurama.
True. So the other thing that I was wondering about, and this is sort of a recurring theme, Bender at one point pops a bunch of popcorn in his chest cavity,
Yeah.
which is awesome. But it made me think, what exactly is in there? Because it's almost like
Everything.
some multi-dimensional thing. Because
But then they also
literally
imply
has,
that he's buttering it with his
with his antenna when he pushes down on it.
Robo-wiener.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a multi-use tool.
That's I think the implied joke. But I think, are you saying just what's inside Bender?
Does it ever get addressed? Is his
there's
little chest
X-rays.
like
There's babies in there. There's
he throws liquor bottles in, he pulls liquor bottles out.
It's kind of like
He
I
can
think
brew
it's just,
beer.
Yes.
It's like a
the
Mary
cartoon
Poppins
aspect of
satchel or
it.
something.
If we could see it in Ultra HD, he'd be much more detailed.
It's like
He's like-
Snoopy's house.
He's like he's
like Snoopy's house.
He's the TARDIS inside.
Yes, exactly.
He is like the TARDIS.
You're a TARDIS.
You're a TARDIS.
So Chopek 9.
The
they
TARDIS
go to
Chopek
beats
9.
there.
The name Chopek 9. You know this
Wait,
already?
wait.
But I figure you would, so I want you to go ahead and.
I also would like John
Well,
to
I have
answer this.
conflicting. I've read conflicting stories about it because I've read that there's 2 brothers named Carl and Joseph Chopek,
right.
and one of them came up with the term, and then one of them wrote this play.
What term? What term are
The
we talking
term
about?
robot.
Right.
Robot or robot?
Well, it was roboti. It was
Some
in
kind of
Czech.
Eastern European.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was in Czech.
This is a
So-
cultured ass podcast, you guys.
So it was the name of it was RUR. It was Rosumari Universalini Roboti, which means Rossum's Universal Robot.
Okay.
Is the name of the play that he wrote, and it's this play where they figure out a way to make synthetic people that they call robots, but it's more along the lines of like an android type, like
Yeah.
it's something
Like a
something-
Battlestar
something organic.
Cylon or something.
Yeah, it's organic, but it's organic matter, but they call them robots. So they make all these robots to work for people instead of people working. So then the robots figure out they're doing all the work, and they rebel and they kill all the humans, which is tied into Futurama in general,
Well, sure.
just killing all
Yeah.
the humans. But
And
I
then,
thought it was
then Isaac
there's an interesting
Asimov
part
got
of it.
involved.
So in the story, there's a Rossum. There's an elder Rossum and then a younger Rossum, and the elder one just wants to create animals to prove that not only is God unnecessary, but that he doesn't exist. And then the younger one locks up the elder one and just builds a bunch of factories to make money. And then what ends up happening is the robots kill everyone.
Then he insults a bunch of ethnicities and runs for president of the United States.
Yeah,
There's
this,
also a robot
this
named
election has already
Primus
proved
in
that God doesn't
in the
exist.
thing, so
Well,
anyway, that's what I got.
That's
on
fucking
the,
heavy.
That's
Yeah.
weird stuff, huh?
yeah.
I'm really excited to have you on here, John, on this podcast. I knew you liked Futurama. I didn't know until I asked you that you might be the only competition for Tom, and who's the most Trekkiest Futurama fan.
Like the encyclopedic knowledge and everything. I thought you
Yeah,
just looked
I-
that up
like,
on your
I'm
wiki.
a
though, Tom.
huge pot smoker, so I'm gonna say that you probably would win.
I mean, well, that if we're using that as a competition, then that,
Let
Wait.
me ask one
have a
question.
smoke-off?
Let me ask one question that is 1,000 questions. So you're a huge Futurama fan.
I am.
How did you come into the show, and what has it meant to you? Sorry about how general this is, but how did you start watching it? Like, was it right at the beginning? Was it later?
Yeah, I was a really big Simpsons fan.
Okay, same with
so
me, like,
I
when it
was
came
like,
out.
Oh, there's a new Simpsons
Yeah.
show, and I was also, I love cartoons in
Yeah.
general, so I was excited there was another cartoon that was a late night cartoon. So I started watching at the beginning. I think I did my best to keep up, but I was 20 to 22 or somewhere around there when it started.
They keep moving the time slot around too. That makes it
Yeah.
difficult. There wasn't any TiVo back then.
No, so and also we was living in a punk house in Columbus with like 6 other guys,
Mm-hmm.
so like we didn't have VCR, let alone like we're working television. Cable
Oh, yeah,
type
best
stuff.
like pirated
So,
cable
yeah,
from the
so-
neighbor, and
So I got into it kind of in a spotty way, and then I was
But
living
at the same time, back then we didn't have all the like where there's too many good TV shows to watch now. It was
Right.
like you had for people like us that are into
Yeah.
the kind of stuff we're into. It was especially on regular television and network television. There wasn't
Not
a lot
much,
of choices.
no.
What would you say made you stay hooked? Made you the fan you are about the show? For me, it's the comedy combined with the sci-fi element and all that stuff being like my two favorite things.
yeah,
in the universe.
it was the intelligent angle,
The super
smart-
nerdy jokes
yeah,
and
it
the really
was
smart jokes. Yeah,
like
for sure.
referencing Czech plays about
that-
Well, yeah.
things that I-
atheism.
Perfect
and-
example.
And it was things that I got, and then things that I didn't get that I knew were a joke that actually made me think, wait,
Ah.
what is that? And then
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
look
I
stuff
would go over
up
to the
and-
library
Yeah.
and look in the
Yeah, in
card
an
catalog for the
encyclopedia
Dewey
or
Decimal Symbol.
something.
I'm gonna check the internet. Oh,
Yeah.
the internet's lame in 1999.
My website was kick-ass in 1990.
Web crawler was kicking it like
Angel Fire.
crazy. So at the game, and we've referenced this before, where they're making references to technology that was commonplace then, and sort of
Oh, yeah,
projecting
I know
it
what
in
you're
the
gonna
future.
say. Yeah.
So the professor whips out a pager,
Right.
which is basically like the R2D2 projector with Hermes. But the part where the hologram of Hermes was attackable
Yeah.
by the birds, so when they
was
show up in the
able to
next
be
scene, he's
carried
all
away.
destroyed. That was awesome. Like that was just
It was
so
cool.
absurd and silly.
blows my mind because I don't.
Because it doesn't make sense. But
I just
It
wonder
doesn't
what-
make sense,
what
and
was
I'm trying to
Hermes-
figure out how exactly happens. Is there like a giant hologram pigeon then
Yeah, what
attacking
was Hermes going
at?
through on the other side?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Was he
And they
just
never
floating?
mentioned it. He's just
No.
sitting in the room, and the next thing, all beat up on crutches and with like he got carried
And
away by a
those are
bird.
the
I
best
love that they
jokes.
did that. Like
Yeah.
they didn't just
Yeah.
have it and then have
Yeah,
it
yeah.
fine, but he just was. They carried that out.
Like there was some kind of reciprocal relationship where maybe there wasn't a giant bird that grabbed him, but whatever the bird did happened to him physically through some sort of extra dimensional means or something. It was a silly joke, especially the way it was kind of understated. And then they started rattling off all of Bender's fake robot holidays.
Robonica.
Robonica's a good one. Robanza.
which kind of takes us into them going on the mission. Tom, how did that play out as far as or anyone like?
Oh well,
what takes us on our adventure?
my
this
favorite part
episode?
about that whole just that segue into them going to take that package to the planet is when they have, because Bender has to go deliver the package because he's a robot and they're going to Robot Planet. Bender ended up getting captured because he works for humans, and Leela goes, I just need 2 or 3 minutes to think about it
right
and have a
before
plan,
commercial,
and it's
yeah.
like a commercial break.
Which is
Yeah.
funny because
And-
we're all watching it on Netflix or a DVD now.
Right.
And
No
like,
break
yeah.
anymore. Yeah.
But
That
then,
is good. That's smart writing.
yes.
Can I drink my beer?
And their costumes that they
Well, Well,
This is
those
the-
were funny. There were a couple other things that happened. And just before we move on, like when they were getting the assignment, when Hermes goes, "I respect your diversity to the extent that the law requires," which I mean,
Which is a great Hermes line, just because
it's a great Hermes line, but
to
it's
the
really
end.
like 17 years later. That's prime corporate speak.
Oh yeah, I mean it was back then too. I mean that was closer to the beginning of that becoming a regular thing.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the age of the HR person, the HR person being like
important.
yeah,
having to
like,
having to follow certain guidelines
Because
to make sure
it
that
like
you
in the
know.
'90s, it was all about like PC being politically
Well, that
correct
was-
about everything, and that
This is probably the tail end of the first wave of
It was when it was-
PC.
It was when we
Yeah.
were allowed to make fun of it because
Yeah.
nobody cared anymore.
Well, when did PCU come out? It was probably about 98 or
90s. No, I think
99.
No, it was like
it was
95,
earlier.
Was it
It was
96?
way earlier.
Yeah?
Yeah. But you know what, guys? This time next year, no more PC. President Trump, hey, I don't like you. You're this color. Hey, you, I can say whatever I want. I can't wait, guys. I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Hey, did you know
That-
there's a Star Trek episode where they reference the Chapek name again?
Really?
Refresh my memory.
So
Original series.
how many Wikipedia articles did you read about the
I
Chopeks?
clicked through one page and I saw, oh, there's a Star Trek. Well, I read the references.
What episode?
The episode Requiem for Methuselah,
Keep going.
1969. That's all I know.
Oh, I wonder. I can't think
But
of
the
what episode
characters,
that is.
there was an android named Raina Chapek.
Oh, I think that's the one where, like most of them, I'm assuming it's a hot
would
robot, and
assume.
I think it's a classic Trek episode premise where there's something where like anything, like somehow. Besides William Shatner seducing alien women, he seduces this robot, and it turns into a thing where like she loves him or something, but she thinks she does. It's one of your classic, original Trek episode or
Right,
whatever.
right.
But I can kind of see like the scenes in the episode, but I
don't remember the particular
proficient
one.
as I am about every other original series for Star Trek, is
I
a
can
little
tell you
spotty
that
for
there
me.
was no gratuitous alien nudity in it.
None.
Yeah. Well, you
None.
know what? There's always a lot of high skirts and cleavage and cone-shaped boobs.
Yeah, but they didn't look the same on Leonard Nimoy.
Do you think
it wasn't good?
that maybe Total Recall was the first movie to ever have gratuitous alien
Sci-fi
nudity?
boobs?
Triple boob?
Definitely triple
No.
boobs. I don't know about alien
No,
nudity.
I mean, that's
Barbarella?
all the
Was
all
there
the
actual like full on nudity in that?
She's
movie?
full on nude in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
but she's not an alien though, is she?
There's,
what
I mean,
planet
I'm
you're on.
sure there's
Yeah.
plenty of others. There's probably a
Wow,
bunch
dude,
of
that
Eastern
just brought all of us
European
closer
movies.
together.
Wait,
And the Danes probably got into that sort of thing at
With
some
Wiley
point.
Danes.
You know what? Alien 3.
I take that back.
Hey,
all
listeners.
the aliens are nude in those.
Hit us up on email or Twitter or something and tell us about your favorite gratuitous alien nudity.
Or call us and leave a voicemail at 216-438.
Nobody wants to do that.
If you
Nobody
have
sends
some
voicemails.
sort of
what
close
are you, my
encounter
parents?
that
People
Leave me
will
a
leave
voicemail.
voicemail.
Just send me a
Nudity.
text.
Hey, what if you do really
You can
good
send a
Bender
text to that.
impersonations? Call in and do good Bender impersonations.
We'll have
Call,
a
call it
contest.
if
Yeah.
you do bad ones, and we'll just make fun of them.
Yeah, I mean
That's a hard
absolutely that.
impersonation
Yeah.
to do. You never hear anyone do, like, everybody tries to do Zoidberg, everybody tries to do Professor Farnsworth, but you never hear anyone try to do Bender.
That
like
dog
that's
on
a-
Adventure Time does a pretty good job.
That dog is talented.
I hope John
telling
DiMaggio
somebody.
somehow hears this and then calls in and does his Bender voice,
And we make fun of it.
make fun of it. like
Oh,
Come on.
That was
like
terrible.
Charlie Chaplin losing a Charlie Chaplin
Chaplin,
lookalike
yeah, yeah.
contest.
so you were talking about the costumes that they made, which were pretty crafty all of a sudden with like the ducting and the boxes and the pails on
Oh,
their
yeah.
head.
Those are some of my favorite Futurama lines
The-
when they dress up like robots.
The amount
that
of,
happens after that.
Like archaic materials that they have lying around that
It looks-
spaceship
Oh, yeah,
is
yeah.
just hilarious.
Yeah,
It
that-
looks like something that any one of us would have. put
Right,
yeah.
together,
Yeah.
for sure.
well,
I've,
that
I've
we were
seen
talking
those
about it on the last
costumes that
episode
speak in tongues.
when they throw the dark matter into the furnace on the ship that powers. Like that was awesome. Like I never noticed that until I was really paying attention.
Right.
But did you notice when they were lowering themselves down on the winch. Their hair was blowing, but there was no wind noise.
No, I didn't notice that.
It bothered me a lot.
Well,
now it's gonna bother me.
yeah.
It interfered
I
with
didn't
my
notice
suspension
that, but
of
now every time
disbelief.
I watch that scene,
Like
Yeah,
they're
thanks,
coming
Pete.
down because the spaceship was hovering pretty high up. I mean, there's a pretty
They were above the clouds, I believe,
yeah.
right?
So you'd think there would be something.
Hey, in the baseball scene, there's a robot with a funny colored eye that's bothered me in just
Yeah.
one scene.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm thinking of it.
And the fact
Later
that
scene.
that Chopek 9 had a
Chopek,
breathable
with an A.
Chopek, Klopek,
An
whatever.
A doesn't make an O
Yeah.
sound in any language.
Okay, so it had a breathable atmosphere. Robots
That
wouldn't
was
need a
just
breathable
luck.
atmosphere.
Well, here's the other thing. Okay, so they're on Topic 9, and they said, jumping ahead a little bit, the robot elders said that they said that the robot elders were hand carved out of
4 centuries ago.
4 centuries ago out of.
I want to
meteorites.
come back to that. But yeah,
But
yeah.
If they were hand carved, does that mean that there were people that carved them there before them?
Or was it
that?
a situation like Bender where his arms come off and
So
can do
my
stuff?
theory is this play happened on that planet. And then they killed all the people that were there. So there used to be people there.
So then Adama
I think you
found,
figured it out. Episode over.
Adama found
Thanks
the
for having
helmet
me,
that
guys.
looked like another Cylon helmet from generations before, and then Colonel Thomas.
Why? You blew it all up. That kind of thing.
so real quick, before we move any farther, because we're getting to this point, when they're going into the actual planet,
Dressed up
as the robots or whatever, they meet the guards and they give them the test.
Oh,
Right.
I just
Right.
wanna- yeah.
And we don't get introduced to really any new reoccurring characters in this.
Yeah.
There's a couple robots that like show
That
up
show up
now
with, like,
and then.
the general,
like-
the military
yeah.
robot.
they look
so-
familiar, but
Yeah.
yeah. we're not.
My normal game of bang, marry, kill.
Nice.
Now, okay, so the ultimate question for whether you're a robot or not is, which would you prefer? A puppy, a flower from your sweetie, or a large, properly formatted data file?
So then, are you asking me?
Yes, I'm going to, but I was waiting for somebody to respond to that.
Oh,
Well,
I
like
thought
how
you were
they-
going to ask
I like how they actually confer
Oh, they,
together
yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
like, oh wait, what should we say? Because it could possibly be any 3 of these, but clearly it's not.
Yes.
I like how they confer for a second, but then I also like how it. Why would the flower be an acceptable answer?
Because robots in the Futurama universe have girlfriends and boyfriends, so
Feelings.
You know, yeah.
What kind
they-
of puppy
or at
is
least
the
they
bad
think they
kind
do.
of puppy? That was the part that kind of made my brain stretch.
No, it was.
the bad kind of puppy.
Oh, okay, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Right. But no,
I don't know.
John, I am asking you, but not to prove that like you're a robot. Don't think of it as a robot. But if you had to pick one of those 3, I just wanted to know which
Oh,
one
okay.
you would pick.
I thought you were going to ask the Mary Bang Kill for that.
No,
That would get really messy.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
That's what I thought you were
Wait,
going to do.
now I'm so confused.
Okay, so we
Who
do
am I
this
banging?
thing where Tom.
If someone asked me that question, if that was my test, I would say a large, properly formatted data file because in my line of work, I often have to deal with large, improperly formatted data files, and it's a pain in the ass.
Gotcha.
I did not think this whole thing.
You were just
thoroughly
asking the
enough.
question, like, which one would you
Yeah,
want? I
and
was-
then no one responded,
just-
and like I was hoping
Well, I don't
someone
have a
was gonna.
sweetie.
Here's.
What?
I don't have a sweetie, so I don't.
Well,
have
imagine-
flowers.
But if
But
you
imagine if you
did-
did. Like, would that be?
Would you rather have a
flower
flower or
from
a
your
dog?
sweetie? Like having a sweetie and getting a flower. Would that be better than having a puppy or a?
What if it was a large,
properly-
I feel
properly
like
formatted data
a
file
puppy,
of gratuitous
a puppy
alien
is a
nudity
very.
pics?
It's a hard gift to give someone.
It's an inconsiderate gift.
Yeah,
to give
because like
someone.
here's a dog here's a life you have to take care of forever now.
Don't let it die,
right. Go
and
take
don't
care-
be neglectful because then you'll get in trouble.
And I
too.
can't even. I have a hard time keeping succulents alive, so I don't. I don't think it'd be good for. I don't think it'd be good at keeping a dog alive by
Right.
myself.
All right,
So
I-
the
Or
plant-
nor
okay.
so.
So the plants, if the flower is already dead, it's dying because it's already been cut. That would be my best option, I think. Because if I had the properly formatted data drive, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I'd give it to Pete.
Yeah.
All right,
I could take care
I'd
of it.
marry the puppy. Obviously,
Right.
I would bang the computer thingy file, and
Right up the USB.
and I
There would
would
be quite a
I
bit
would,
of bruising
I would
involved
kill
in that,
that
I think.
flower. I would just choke its stem, choke
make the
choke
puppy
petals
eat it.
right
I
off
would
of
light
it
it on fire.
So actually, I want to change this now.
to that question.
Bang, marry, kill. A puppy, a flower, or a largely properly formatted data file.
I'd also kill my sweetie.
Yes. John, I'm asking you now. You have to decide.
I would do all three to all three.
All right, okay. There we go.
In which order?
Look, this is
That's
again,
very important.
I mean, I would change
That's
it up.
Very
These are
important.
very
I'd change it
simple
up.
with the way that you've laid them out. I'm waiting for a challenging one. You'd marry
Do
the
you,
puppy.
sir,
Because the
take
puppy,
this dead puppy to be your?
the puppy will be a companion, whether you were expecting it or not. But it will be a nice, loyal companion. The
I know a lot of
flower
lonely
is
people that are
already
pretty
going to
much
be
married their
dying.
dogs.
Yeah.
So then you don't. Then
So
and
you
that
marry
just
the
means
flower.
banging that
Everything's
data
dying.
Oh,
file.
God. I would bang that data
You
file.
marry the
Like,
flower because that way it'll die soon and you'll be free because the till death do us part thing.
Oh,
Some
and
of
how
us
much
aren't-
money does that have?
Some
you
of
gotta
us
sign
aren't
a
afraid of
prenup.
commitment, John.
Oh yeah. Holy crap, yeah.
oh, man, we're getting deep now in this. So, John.
What else do you guys want to know?
I also, honestly, like, in that question, I would take the large, properly formatted data file because
I would-
that's very important in my
would
in this
marry-
line of work of even doing this podcast.
I would marry the hot blast of resin.
Who turns down a hot blast of resin?
What kind of robot?
That sample is great when he opens his mouth to scream.
Yes,
Oh, dude, that was
That's
so
from something
That robot
too.
scream was terrifying.
It was
I read it's from something, but I did not.
it's
write
from
it down.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes.
Where,
Oh,
it is,
yeah.
Yeah.
and I think is that the version with what's President Snow mashed? What's his name? He's Kiefer Sutherland's dad. His
Donald
last name
Sutherland?
Sutherland Donaldson.
Donald Sutherland?
Yeah, have you guys ever seen that?
Is it the
The
80s
70s
remake?
It was
or
like
the
a late 70s
70s
version.
remake?
No, because there was a Nimoy one. Is it the same one?
It might
There's
be.
so many Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, I don't know.
There was like a 50s and a 70s.
Oh yeah,
and
there was
maybe
the,
a
like the
late
black and white one,
80s.
I've
That
seen
means there's
one
gonna
and
be
I
one
wasn't
coming
paying
up
attention
soon.
to
which
it.
makes me think of probably second to Blurnsball, maybe even first favorite part of this episode is the robot horror movie. Just everything in that. Just
Oh, it's so good.
I will digest it with my system of mighty organs, and he opens it up and opens his chest plate and like, what does the robot boy say to the robot girl? Like oh, let's not even pay attention for a second, or what is it?
It's okay. They'll never come to our town. We can let our guard down even for a moment.
Wait, real quick, before when they're running, there's the ad for milk. Got milk because if
Oh,
you do,
yeah,
you're a
you're a
human and you
human.
need to be killed.
or probably something that Dan Hallahan and I say to each other all the time is we just reference don't let anyone notice how crummy you look or whatever when Leela's talking to Fry, it turns out to be the other robot and
Crappy,
yeah.
Oh, that's me.
Well, in the movie theater, all the robots had the 3D glasses, and the cheap joke with Leela.
Oh, so many
only
cheap
other
one
word-
eye jokes, but it works.
In the actual movie, so was
When Fry yells out, "God help us,"
well, but there's
Is
the
that- Oh, I wrote that down as, is that Fry? Because that's one of those instances
no,
where,
it's
like,
definitely that's a Fry joke. Like he's the human. And
it's either
you
Billy
know.
West or John DiMaggio.
No,
that's
it's
doing.
Yeah, they do that a lot. Like we were talking about before,
Yeah.
how they
you
know,
suck.
Yeah, like they
Right.
somebody yells
I
out.
know. I
you
was
know
just
it's one
saying
of them,
that to
but-
you.
Oh, duly noted. I'll do what I can. But
When-
no, what were you saying?
When
Yes.
Pull the
they-
pin out of
so
that.
in
What
the,
was it?
In the movie is, the monster opens up his chest, and it's supposed to be organs. So this might be going like a couple layers deeper on it.
You?
Yeah, I know. I'm all about surface.
Yeah.
It was it supposed to be the robot conception of a human was a metal encased system of mighty organs that breathe fire,
devour
or
you
was
with my
that supposed
system
to
of
be
mighty organs.
like robot special effects? And that
I think
was a
it was
robot
just supposed
actor.
to be 1950s version of their robot
And
special effects.
their misconception of humans. None of them have seen humans in 400 years, and all they have is at least. I
Right.
mean, it's a robot with gloves and a mask on. You know what I mean? It's
Oh, it was great.
they have a
And-
misconstrued. I later when they're talking about when they trick the elders and
Right.
Fry says
When
I'll
Fry-
breathe fire
I'll
on
breathe
you.
fire on you. Way to spoil our own podcast.
It's important. It's an important point.
The military robot, the general in the movie, and I think later on, do you think his head was like?
It's always confused me.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is it molded that way? Is
And
it
you notice
carved
when he
that
turns
way?
at different angles,
yeah,
it's kind
I
of a
don't
weird.
understand.
You know,
It's like the Simpsons hair, though. Like I've always.
where if you
I've
did it in
never
3D, it
underst-
wouldn't
yeah, it
really
doesn't
work.
really
They
make
were able to
sense.
pull Homer off.
It would end
for
up
that
looking
3D
like Johnny
episode, but
Suede
they
or
couldn't
something.
do the
Yeah,
other
that's
ones.
all.
It wouldn't work.
Who are you talking about? Which character?
The general.
The general, the military
the
robot.
Green General.
His head
In-
is
in
all
the- in
molded
the-
to
in
look
the
like
end,
a
he
military cap. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
got
yes,
his
that-
big
that-
duck bill on
Oh,
top.
simple
okay.
sharpened stick.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
all
still
of our
talking about
magnetic
the
fields and-
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the movie, it came
Well,
from
and
planet
then-
Earth or whatever.
Then the other thing that I was thinking about is like, why are all the robot voices so different? Like, wouldn't they all kind of be the same? But there's I don't remember what function they were, but they're kind of like the military thugs that had like the 8-bit Atari voices.
That was a reference to a video game. It's
Yeah.
funny you said 8-bit Atari.
yeah,
but that they
Berserk.
Yes.
Is that
Berserk.
it?
right. But then you have the ones that are like super articulate, and then you have ones that are like Crushinator, and
What,
all
what did they
those
say?
things
Destroy the
change.
humanoids or something like that?
It's
Yeah, I
got
mean,
the vocoder on the voice, and
It depends on what they need for the joke, really.
Yeah,
How
I just
far
wish
they're
there
talking-
was more
Well,
consistency.
here's the thing,
in
if
the
you think
universe.
about
But
it-
then you'd lose comedy if there was consistency.
If you
like-
think about it, every dance move is a robot, just varying degrees of robot technology.
That's true.
yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing.
My dance move, I used to work at an assembly plant, and I did the robot every day. I would put parts on machines onto other
with-
machines.
Also,
Did it with your penis?
no one has pointed out that basically when Fry's walking like a robot, he's walking like a zombie.
yeah,
He's just has his
Yeah,
arms
yeah,
out,
yeah,
and he's
all
just like
shitty,
walk,
yeah.
like.
Yeah, that is pretty.
Are you aware you're
pretty
leaking
bad.
coolant at an alarming rate?
Yeah, I think it stopped by itself.
Wait, almost. So okay, before we, well, no, you know what? Let's jump to the third act. I have a question, a general question about it, but about the episode, the whole episode. But so let's jump ahead. They're there. They run into Bender. You know,
Who is-
to
Who is basically Donald Trump at this
On
point.
this planet?
Oh.
On this
Oh,
planet, he is
he has a-
basically
Yeah, I guess-
Donald Trump.
Spoken word album.
Yeah.
Oh, the spoken word, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. He's in it. There's nothing in
an
there but a
action
couple remnants
figures.
of moldy old robot pornography, and
Sounds
then
like
it's
a breeding ground.
and then it's just the what do you call the electrical schematics?
Schematics.
What do you
Yeah, I never understood why that was robot porn, really.
It's the joke. You wouldn't want
well,
to
that's
lose the
thing.
comedy, would
no,
you?
no, look,
No.
because
true.
robot pornography would be like he's mentioned before about where he's looked at. She's not wearing her casing or something like that.
Yeah, where you
Right.
take
That would
like
be
something
robot
off to
pornography.
repair something.
But
the
that would be
internal
like
thing.
a molecular level for
Yeah,
robots.
yeah,
yeah.
like if I was jerking off to like pictures of molecules
Yeah,
of
yeah.
cellular.
Which I'm sure there
Yeah,
are
Rule
some
34.
People, some people probably do that.
I'm gonna check X-Hamster
With,
right now and find out if
With the
there's
level of
a,
attention they put into that, is there a reference to what that was actually a schematic
No,
for?
I have no idea. I didn't even look
I
it
don't
up.
know.
I mean,
It wasn't even on the
Oh, that's
screen
a
like
good
very
question.
long enough.
Yeah.
But they'd probably.
You can
I mean,
read that stuff, Tom. Did you notice anything?
I didn't even
I
pause
saw
it. Like,
some
there's other
resistors
things
and
I paused to
capacitors,
like
and
look
there's
at.
a couple op
Yeah.
amps, but that it didn't.
We also missed the whole thing at the Blurns Ball game, Leela's scorecard, and because
Oh, all
we
the
got into
names.
the whole
Oh,
seventh
yeah,
inning sweater
yeah,
or
I'm
whatever.
glad you brought that up.
And the one name, it's like an alien's like name. It's just like a bunch of different letters, and it's pronounced Miller.
Pronounced Miller, yeah.
I didn't notice that.
If we're jumping back in time to that,
We can, because that Blurns Ball is one of the best things.
Yeah.
That was like
There
one of
were-
the most
Ball's great.
recurring things that's been on this.
two things with
What do you think an anti-blurn is? Sorry.
Zoidberg comes out of the bathroom and
Oh,
zips
yeah.
up his chest.
Yeah, so that's.
Oh, dude.
But then give me one of your young on a roll.
He said we're out,
We're
of,
out of
rolls.
rolls. Oh, so
that
great.
means they have the young normally, though.
Sure. But
Cool.
then they go into like the hacky hot dog joke. Like
Yeah.
you could see that coming a million miles away, and
Give
I
me
don't know
something
that they
crawling
did it
with
enough.
parasites.
But I like it. I mean, I also like the Hermes joke in a different episode where it's Coke Pepsi okay?
Oh yeah,
I'll have a horse Coke. Is Coke Pepsi okay? Nay.
Oh, yeah.
Where are we in this episode?
Well, okay, so
We're just- I'm sorry,
they run
I'm
into
just
they
jumping
run
around.
into
Time is a
Well,
flat
all right,
circle.
I'll
It
just
could be anywhere.
I'll just get us there
simultaneously.
real fast because everybody knows I'm really good at explaining stuff really quickly. Jesus. So they
Nailed
see
it.
Bender. At this point, Bender has been telling the robots that he hates humans and he's an expert on hunting them and et cetera. They run into him and Bender's like, "Oh, I got him." So they're gonna have this trial. You know, Bender's still playing that role of having caught them and being this great human hunter.
Yeah.
And so now we're at the trial.
The media
you've-
darling.
You've got the
computer, the
computer
Apple
judge or
computer
whatever.
judge.
Yeah.
That freezes.
Then they,
Yeah.
they get the Apple jokes in
Yeah.
there. I
Which
like
a
that
lot of those still
Fry's-
worked.
I like that Fry's joke is called tech support.
Yeah.
When everyone's, they're all trying to give constructive things that could actually.
Did you turn it
work.
off and turn it back on again?
And his is like, just call someone else to do it,
Yeah.
which is the whole problem to begin with. Really,
Call tech support.
get someone else to do it for you.
Then when they find the robot elders, do you know how notice how much they say silence?
Yeah, I love it.
And they go back to that they're in a later episode.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
bring that back.
What
You
are the
need to do
robot
that
elders
when I-
referencing? Like, what is that?
That's so many
Illuminati.
Star Trek episodes where there's especially the one with the giant brain guys and I want to say the second pilot, maybe it was the original pilot. You had the guys that which they reference on The Simpsons too on Itchy and Scratchy.
Kang and Kronos?
No, Itchy and Scratchy. Scratchy goes to which one is the Icky? Goes to the planet where all the Itchies have the giant brains and they have but that's that kind of that's the first thing I think of. I'm sure there's other old sci-fi stuff that has that planet with leaders in robes or whatever that have
or the
omniscient powers or whatever.
it's almost resembling the how to cook for people or how to cook people.
How to
or
serve humans or how to serve man?
That whole story, like the big head kind of.
So it's just
how to cook
referencing
for
that
40
trope,
humans.
but we've brought this up a couple times already. There's this 400-year-old thing. Did they ever reference that again? Did they ever go back to Chopek 9?
Later in the series?
Yeah.
No, they don't, but
There's other
I-
robots.
The
stuff that's
Amazonian
linked-
planet is
there's-
kind of, with the computers.
No, I mean, but there's stuff that's linked back to that. The robot
for s-
elders show up again.
for some reason I feel like they're involved with Dupe also somehow.
Yes, yeah. There's something when in an episode with Dupe, there's a representative from the robot elders
or something, yeah.
there.
Oh,
Do they ever
my favorite
talk
robot
about
elder.
who carved them beyond that then?
No,
No.
So
they
that
never
remains
get.
a
So we
mystery.
don't know if there were people there before that.
My,
or
my
if-
favorite robot elder is Jimmy, and he sounds like Sylvester Stallone.
Oh yeah.
The ceremonial kill him and shake.
What does he
They're-
say? He's like, yeah.
I think they're kind of like the Illuminati because they use
Yeah,
the
they
humans
run
as the
everything.
The
scapegoat,
Illuminati are
And,
lizard people, Tom.
but-
they're lizards,
and they
not
use the
robots.
humans as a scapegoat. to-
Lizards, scales, reptilian. These are
Are you
clearly
trying to say
robots.
scale goat?
I'm saying not on a a scale goat.
Scale goat, Illuminati.
That sounds like
That's
something
what
they
the
would have picked up
Illuminati
on
uses
Virgon
for-
6. A scale goat.
Scale goat.
If you guys aren't careful, I'm gonna function, control, shift, kill.
When they went off on the hunt, the fact that the robots had torches made me so happy.
The torches. And
Yeah.
then the butter.
Yeah. Yeah,
They
I
had
mean,
torches, but they were afraid humans were going to breathe fire.
I
on them.
know.
Where did they get butter?
The butter on the
Where do they get
on the
cows to
trap,
make
the mouse
butter?
trap. Speaking of butter,
Okay.
John messaged me probably the most like Futurama thing that when you sent that to me, I'm gonna be honest. Before I responded, I looked it up. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, okay, that episode. But could you just like explain that real quick? That
So I'm at my buddy's wedding, and
John went really far to make a Futurama.
Do you want
reference at
to
a wedding, so.
say his name or no?
Chauncey, his name's Chauncey.
Chauncey Billups.
okay.
So I'm at his wedding, and he's a giant Futurama fan, and we quote back and forth all the time. So they had pads of butter on the table, at all of our tables. So they're eating at their their giant table up front or whatever, and we're at our little tables around them. I grabbed a pad of butter and I put it in my pocket. I went up to the table and I was like, "Hey!" And there was a giant air vent behind them. They got married in a warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an air vent behind them, and I was like, "Hey, do you think I can crawl all the way through that air vent without this pad of butter in my pocket melting?" And he looked at me and he was like, "Oh my God, 10 points."
That's awesome.
So, they're taken away. That's when they're sent to the robot elders that we referenced 85 times before we got to this point.
Yes.
And they keep yelling silence before they make a statement, or if they ask a question, they yell silence. We meet them. We find out they're the Illuminati version of this planet, and that they're going to kill Fry and Leela. Was it because they know too much? Because they explained the whole history of the planet to them, or were they going to just kill them because they can't have humans ruin the secret of?
So what happened was they told Bender to kill him, right?
Oh yeah, then they say Bender,
And then he said, "I can't do it. Humans are no threat. These
and
humans
they're
are no threat." And they say, "We know, but they're an easy."
And
they're
then
they're easy to blame.
yeah.
They end up escaping and running to the.
Oh, how did they
Ship.
trick the robot elders? They
They confused them.
yeah.
They,
What was the? Oh, what did they ask them? It was
They got him talking like
no,
us.
they said that Fry would breathe fire on him, and they
Oh,
go,
and
"Did
they
they
were
really do
discussing-
that?"
Oh,
And
did
they-
or
we
is
make
that
that
one of the
up?
things
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
made up
there
in
you go.
our silly movies or whatever?
and then they ran, and
so
then
even 400 years later, these humans were still like a threat enough to make these movies about them. I mean, obviously they were just using the humans as the threat to keep people in line.
they
the
still
fear
make
factor.
stories up about the devil, John.
Oh no, that's but I mean
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Like they
Which
still,
the Illuminati is probably confused about what is actually real and what isn't anymore. It's
I'm
out of
sure
control
the
now.
Illuminati's very confused.
Definitely.
So
has
these
orange
robot
hair.
elders were just confused about whether or not they made up that humans could breathe fire or if humans could actually breathe fire.
So then they got away.
So they run away and they run
and
and
what
get
was
on the
what
spaceship?
was one of the problems on the planet?
They
Tom?
were out of lug nuts.
Yes.
Was that a problem?
Yeah, they
Yes,
mentioned that
there's
there
a
were
lug
others
nut
that our growing problems of this and that and our
Oh, that was one
shortage
of the
lug
Oh,
nuts.
that's the whole point of
That's
the
one of the problems of the
episode that I
robot
was talking
elders
about.
said.
Yeah, it was he mentioned like 2 or 3 and that was one of them was
Oh,
our shortage
and
of lug
Incompetent
nuts.
robot elders.
Also,
Yeah, that was
humans eat lug nuts with their brunches.
Oh,
Their
okay, yeah, that
human
was
branches.
So they get away, and Bender was like, "Oh, I forgot
yeah,
to
by the
deliver the
way.
package."
which was
And
full
it's
of lug nuts.
Full of
But
lug
also,
nuts.
weren't they riding? So they're riding up the giant magnet thing. Is that what that is?
It was like
basically?
it's like a winch.
But
you know,
don't magnets mess with Bender's inhibition unit?
I don't think it was a
It's
magnet.
a
I think
magnet
it was a platform.
in some episodes.
Oh, I think it's an
I mean,
I think it's an electric magnet
was
where
a
they can turn it
magnet
into they flip the switch and it's an electromagnet.
But it
right
was
in the moon episode.
Sometimes
It was a
and,
magnet
magnet when
not.
he was.
The
but
second
what-
episode.
they were standing on it. They weren't being pulled up by it, were they?
No,
Like,
If
Bender
it's not
wasn't
on, if the
snapped.
magnet function
Yeah.
isn't on, then it's not
Gotcha.
a magnet.
Okay,
but
But then the robots start like Jenga-ing up into a Lego stack.
but I have a Bender question though.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in other episodes, Bender, like the adoption episode where they adopt all the kids, Bender adopts all the kids.
So great.
He puts one of the drawings on the inside of his chest plate with
Uh-huh.
a magnet.
it's a tiny
Oh,
one.
man, I never
So you
noticed
don't
that.
think that
That's
But I was thinking maybe it's just way down here. And like obviously his brain.
They were
Then I was
always-
like, oh wait, he's a robot.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a brain.
Oh yeah. Oh, damn it.
So then that confused me.
That's a good.
It is mostly with his head though, because there's another episode, the
The Beck
Where
one.
they
Beck
put the
one where-
magnet on it. He
I think
puts
we
it
ought to
on his
find the
right.
guys that wrote this show and chastise them for the inconsistencies.
For all their
in world
hilarious
building.
jokes that didn't,
Yeah.
even though they wrote entire episodes where the plot was an
Who-
amazing.
What
like-
else
How
would we
dare
would have nothing
they?
to talk about if they didn't do these things, though.
Yeah, we got to speculate about something, and that's you know.
Okay, so
Well-
I'm sorry. Anyway, where were we?
So
They got away.
it turns out it was the
Oh, yeah, so
escape
the
Planet
Jenga-
They
Express
got away.
team,
The Jenga thing,
and they give them the box of lug nuts, and they fall down the tower of robots,
and everyone's all stoked.
everyone leaves.
they're all broken and
Because
so
that
happy
one box of lug nuts that fit inside
for a
Bender
planet of robots.
just
Yeah,
saved
Maybe
the whole planet.
everyone just needed one because they rationed enough where like everyone just had to give one.
or maybe
rope.
they were so short that they were just like a box. There's only like a dozen of us here. This is great, or 100 or whatever. Like,
Or
like
could-
seeing any lug nuts.
You could probably fit like a lot of lug nuts in a box that size.
I would think so, especially
They're
if,
small.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
made it, if you made it specifically to fit within Bender's body cavity.
were they all
Yeah.
the same size?
the lug
metric?
nuts? I don't.
Were they metric? We don't know.
We don't know.
We
but
don't know.
that actually brings up a point. If Bender's body cavity has this extra dimensional space and you can shove all kinds of things into and out of it, it's seemingly got an endless capacity.
It doesn't-
it's
it
not
doesn't
like,
really
it's
have
not
that.
like
It's-
Mary Poppins' bag.
It is like Mary
or,
Poppins' bag or
Felix the
Snoopy's
Cat's-
house, as was said
No,
earlier.
Or
But
the
here's
TARDIS.
here's the thing: if they exactly
It's
like the TARDIS,
it's a
Sometime-
flavor of the episode of,
But
of
if-
what do we
Yeah.
need
if
this
that is
function,
if
you
that
know.
is a physical possibility
Okay.
and physical like physics, I mean, could some of the packages
you mean physical?
that Planet Express delivers, could those boxes have that same capability? Because that would really be something. Like you go to the post office, I gotta send this priority mail, and it's not gonna fit in the medium box. I gotta put it in the large box. But if the large box, you could just keep stuffing stuff into it, and the outside of it would
I
still.
can't
just
remember if they had a bigger on the inside reference.
Do you get?
Besides the dimension in a box, like I can't think of.
do you get what I mean? Like,
I get what
do.
you mean, but I don't know.
does that ever come up? Because that would be something. I
Here's
mean,
the
let
thing.
me.
Here's the thing. I don't know if. Okay, so other than let's say like when Bender robs the YMCA and the kid comes spilling out of him when he opens up the door, like I can't think of a whole lot of times when he's fit a whole lot inside him.
What
other
about
than
Nibbler? Because he does the same thing.
Nibbler.
Yeah, but that's
Wait, no, but I mean, I can't think of a lot of times that Bender fits a lot inside.
You're-
of him. It
that's
doesn't
for
look
humor
like it
too.
would
That is
fit.
cartoon humor. When Nibbler eating giant animals,
Right.
You know,
But also, if you think about it, he's turning it into dark matter. So,
So he might have some kind of crazy
he would require
interdimensional,
a
like-
lot of matter.
And most of that is they're just jokes to do for jokes.
yeah.
You're thinking way.
No, I like
you
that-
are-
no, I'm glad
I
you bring
love-
him up.
But
yeah.
I think that's great.
But
that
the Nibbler
you-
thing I've thought about though,
think-
because he
That makes
shits
a lot of
dark
sense. I never
matter,
thought about that. Like,
so
of
he's-
course he would.
He's
Yeah,
going to need a
yeah.
lot of matter to. He's going to need to ingest a lot to condense it into.
Yeah,
that.
whatever. Like,
I always thought that was a brilliant.
But how
Yeah,
does that
part
happen?
of
How does
Nibbler.
that happen instantaneously? Like if a snake eats a horse, you're going to see that horse inside the snake for at least a couple minutes.
yeah, but who knows?
With
what
Nibbler,
kind
it's
of,
just like and it's gone.
his race might have been around.
There-
for
Why do you
millions of
always
years
have to
with
bring
a-
race into it?
They're 16 minutes older than the universe.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
species.
yeah, they
Species.
what the.
Nibbler. Species.
They were a race.
Well, how long do they live individually? We don't know. Maybe they live for billions.
They were
of years,
around
millions
before
of
the
years.
universe.
No, I'm saying no. The species was, but were they individually? Was
Can
Can we
Nibbler
go
around?
back to
Are
talking
they
about
timeless?
Hitler?
Do they reproduce?
I don't know.
Yeah, didn't they?
Can you
didn't
imagine
they
them
reference that?
doing
They were
that?
like, oh, I Rule 34.
That'd be weird. What's Rule 34?
Oh,
Was I not supposed to say that?
no.
No.
Uh,
I'm surprised. I'm not surprised you don't know.
I
but
am so
just
excited. I'm
wait
so
till
excited
he
that you asked this.
explains
Okay,
this.
there's a website that I've heard about.
It is a Reddit. It's called Reddit.com.
I found this
Look,
website.
hang on,
asking for directions to get as
Rule
far away from this
34
website as I could.
Rule 34
Of the internet.
predates Reddit
It's of
by,
the internet.
by
yeah, it
decades.
predates
This
the-
is this
the
is
actual
a,
website.
None of this is going to be in the podcast.
this is
right now,
this
right?
is a decades
no,
old
none of this.
internet trope.
All right. Anyways, so the actual site is a porn site. The rule is Rule 34. if you can think of a porn version of it, it exists.
Okay.
And on Rule 34, it is a collection of, I don't know, millions of drawings, pictures, videos.
I think
mostly
it's-
fan-drawn stuff.
Gotcha.
Most of it is super horny artists or pseudo-artists.
Of course.
Drawing cartoon characters you drew or you grew up on in sexual situations.
I think the actual
Gotcha.
rule itself is a little more abstract to say something along the lines of if
Oh, you
something
mean-
exists on the internet, there is someone who will
done
view
it.
that
You mean-
as
yes.
pornography.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. All right.
Then there's another rule that
So-
I forget what it's called. It's
It's like
something's
87
law
or something like
but
that.
like
It's
if-
almost like the chaos theory or
as a
or-
discussion continues on like a message board, the probability that something will get compared to Nazis increases
Right.
at a specific rate. Like that's another one.
Yeah,
It's just
Grower, what's the guy's name? Something's Law.
yeah, it's something like
could,
that.
Could you do me a favor, John? Could you tweet at the Futurama podcast, or is there a Facebook for Futurama? Right? Or are we going to do this for a Facebook
There might be a Facebook. I don't
or whatever?
know.
Could you let us know how many minutes and seconds
Good
from the
Winslow.
time you get home that you look this up, and then also add how long before you decide to never look up this site again?
I really hope there's one of a drawing that somebody did of
Door
Leela-
guy at the grog
no,
shop.
Leela getting mounted by the four-legged mimic, looking like Leela from last episode with the
Oh.
horse.
Yeah, I'm
But that
definitely not looking that up. I'd have to light my
That'd be
computer
hilarious.
on fire. Goodwin's Law is the Hitler thing.
That's it. Yes, this has been a really
Really,
and
Hitler.
Nazi, yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so we haven't even talked
Centric
about really
episode.
the fact that so the old Robot League is a direct reference to the old Negro League for baseball.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this whole episode is really race bait.
It is
Absolutely,
really race-based.
absolutely.
Which we haven't talked about really.
Bender
Well,
Bender
I'm-
kind of jokes about it early, but it is there. It's okay. There's a little bit in this
They approach
episode
it. They don't really. Yeah. They don't,
about his friendship with them near the end. You know, him like, oh no, these are my friends, but really
he
it
does
is
make
about.
he says a few like oh, move that space bar, just like
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
few like things that are very they paint him in a very specific way,
that he's like their gopher or their laborer or whatever. Yeah, like he's
which he
and that robots are when they're at the Blurns Ball
Right.
and of course a robot comes out and
is
cleans
it a
up this
human
bottle.
child?
Right,
No, I
yeah.
wish
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the thing.
Did you have a lot of notes about it being a
No,
race
no,
thing?
I feel like to not mention it would be
Remiss.
No, yeah, like I didn't think about that. Like I
Do you
didn't
guys
even, like,
feel that that's what this episode is about? Do you feel at the core of this episode, like take away the because almost every Futurama episode, if you take away all the jokes, there is a point. The writers are good at. Sometimes it's an amazing point. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's just they're just throwing it in there because there's a story and there's the point behind it. Do you feel like that's the
I
deeper
feel-
meaning of this episode, or
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I would say that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's
I agree.
probably
think
where
that
it was
it's-
built off of.
Yeah,
like, for
I think
sure.
it's the idea,
definitely.
the idea of being.
subservient?
Open and
Having
accepting to
a
other
race or a
people's-
group.
But I
No,
wonder
I think,
when
like,
they wrote it
the
if
core
they
I think
they
the core
reverse
idea
engineered
is-
it.
Is the idea of being open and open to other ideas and cultures and thoughts and that kind of thing. That's what the the takeaway is.
But they could have started at the whole idea of the robot planet and then, kind of backfilled the jokes with the Boris
right,
ball.
sure. Oh yeah.
Because that was just offhanded stuff of, where did he get the giant baseball mitt? And where did it go?
I don't know, but
And then he
do you
caught the
think that
player
kid took
and then he handed
do you
it
think
to a
that Took the
kid.
guy home with him, a souvenir player.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that it? That might be a rule of Blurns Ball. I guess people have or they've tried to come up with actual rules for Blurns Ball, but it's just so weird that there's nothing.
Yeah, how could you? It would make a better pinball game, not really than anything.
That would
I just
be
wanna know if
no
there
one
is
has
one.
made a Blurnsball pinball. That would be a really good, yeah.
That would be a pretty good idea.
And the pinball is on a rubber band.
Yeah.
Well, that
I don't know
whole
how that would
aspect-
work, but
that
For
whole
that- for-
aspect of it
For
was
that ball to go flying and for someone to try and grab it and it to grab them and drag them away, that ball's got a lot of momentum.
yes.
could have had some magnets involved or
Maybe
something.
there was magnets, probably magnets involved. Maybe
How do they
that's why
work?
there weren't robots down there. Maybe
Miracles.
maybe Bender didn't even think of it.
I like at the end, so when they get back on the spaceship after they escape and they have the Robonica party for Bender, there's a jack-o'-lantern
Garbage can, like oil
garbage
drum?
can or oil drum. Yeah, like is that part? I love that's part of that.
I liked that there was a boombox because, again, there's so many references to technology that would have been commonplace back then that are completely obsolete at this point.
And the boombox was even in 1999 pretty obsolete, but they referenced it enough in the show already, or they do reference it. I don't know if they have it up to this point yet. Reference of like having the boombox, having the with flashbacks to young Fry and whatnot.
Well, yeah, I think they did
They
that.
have, there's nothing in that since.
But wasn't
or, like,
that in the
so
first
far.
episode? Maybe I remember it. At
He
some
might. I
point.
mean, there might be.
or somebody else maybe had a boombox. Which
Is the fish full of dollars before this one?
No. That's
Is
the
this
next one.
Okay.
Yeah, next our next episode.
Wait a minute,
is
I'm
that
just getting ahead
episode.
of myself then.
Yeah,
Is that the anchovy episode?
Yeah.
Yes.
God, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
Kind of want to just come for that too. I'll just be, I'm out the window there. Hey, what are you guys talking about? I'll just be holding up jokes.
somebody say this.
It is a.
You
Well,
guys forgot to bring up
dude.
this trivia thing.
John, watch the episode and by before next Tuesday and call that number and leave voicemails. And if you can get like pretty well, like actually,
What
you
if
know what?
we-
We can hook this up and be like, okay, we're gonna listen to all these voicemails and we'll play them while we're recording. I think that would be great.
All right, I'm writing this down.
Yeah, you have to do that. Anybody,
I'll
I
totally
mean,
forget.
no one's gonna hear this until we've already put this out. But again, it's 216. Damn it, I don't remember it now. 216.
867-5
438 1077.
Yes, 216-438-1077.
1077. My secret
Secret pin number.
Pin number to my
secret phone number.
man. Do you think any
First,
Futurama
let's use
fans have that as their bank
Oh,
account?
shit.
That would be the worst pin number to
So,
have as a Futurama
this-
fan.
I sure don't.
I feel like this is a pretty good episode.
Yeah, it's all right.
I don't think it's. I'm waiting for the joke pace to pick up, but we'll wait. I mean, we're
And it will.
there.
It's getting better though.
Yeah.
It
Exponentially
ultimately-
every episode.
Were there
like, yeah.
13 episodes or 22 in the first season? Was it a full
It
order?
was a 13 episode
we-
one, right?
we
The
talked
first-
about this.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Well,
weird.
how do you. Yeah.
Like I'm going off of. I'm
Aaron,
going
you're going
off
off of what aired, right?
How it aired
Yeah.
and what's considered season 1, 2, and including, and then it's the movies and then the new season. So
Okay.
there may be a few more episodes of actually the first season.
Okay.
Broadcast season. So, the end where they're showing the pictures at the credits, Bender has the bottle in the one picture against Fry's neck, and
then the Band-Aids
The
after?
Band-Aids
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah. That's
Who's
that's some
taking
good
those
Futurama in
pictures?
right there.
Was
Who
it-
was taking the pictures with all three of them in it?
Technology.
Tripods.
they set the timer on the film camera
Oh.
and then set it back. So did we get this one beat to the ground?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we hit everything.
I don't like the fact that there wasn't very much of the other characters. It was like Fry, Leela, and Bender, like
Yeah, it was
very
definitely.
heavy
They went on a
episode.
mission, and it was pretty much just them, which a lot of the episodes are, and should be in a way. I mean, when the best episodes, my favorite episodes are when the whole Planet Express crew is included. Yeah, your brain episode, the Worms episode.
Again with the spoilers.
all
My
the-
God.
Oh, you mean the show that got canceled
Atlanta.
years ago? I don't. The Atlanta one, the ones where they all go on the mission together. Yeah, those are my favorites. When there's plenty of Zoidberg, plenty of Farnsworth mixed in there with Fry, it's just, I mean, those are the best.
I mean, considering the fact that this was basically just 3 of the characters of the show for predominantly the whole episode, it was a pretty strong episode.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
really, they hadn't fleshed out the secondary characters at that point. Like
and they had hardly fleshed out the primary characters.
Yeah,
at
they were
this
still
point.
really
I don't
getting.
think
The voices
Zoidberg's
slightly
even said
changed.
robot
Yeah,
yet.
they weren't.
Like Zoidberg hasn't even
I don't
said
think
robot.
No, I don't think so.
He's
But
only
when he does,
been
Pete,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna.
lose it.
Robot.
Is a robot.
So next week is
Episode
Fishful of
6.
Dollars. Anchovies.
It's a good one.
Looking forward to it.
I watched that episode the other day. And
Yeah, of course
I'm,
you
like,
did.
Super excited.
And the day before that,
Yeah.
and the day you watch
John,
every season every day, right?
I'm
That's
waiting
your-
for my Netflix award from them to be like, you've watched Futurama more than anyone else
I
we've ever
want
seen
to look
ever.
through I want to look through the records and see how many times I've actually done it because I put it on so often, just to put it on like for background noise.
It's
I'll
soothing.
put it on when I'm
It's
writing
soothing.
music. I'll put it on.
Yes.
I'll be sitting there playing music and writing songs and watching. I'll put it on and fall asleep
The
to
crustacean tail.
all the time. It's just I got so sick of music for a while that it was easier just to put that on because I needed some kind of noise.
Well, good. If any one of us, something happens to any 3 of us that we do this, you're going to replace us.
I would be honored. I feel like I would do my best to fill in. I don't know if I could do a good job, but I would do my best.
That's all right. None of us have ever done a good job on this podcast.
Wait,
yet.
yeah, just wait till Horchie tries to come up with a send-off line and see how that goes.
And now that you know where we tape this, you're just going to show up and bang on the window on
Tuesday
Tuesdays
night.
and be
Knock,
like,
knock,
Hey,
knock,
what show
knock.
are you guys talking about? Oh,
but thank you. This has been
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you
thanks
so
for
much.
having me.
I'm
Always
so
a
glad this
delay?
happened.
It was
will.
super
You'll
fun.
definitely be on again. There's
I hope
140 episodes. Yeah.
Is there anything non-time sensitive that you'd like people
Oh, yeah.
to check
say
out?
within the 5 weeks, any stuff on Bandcamp, any or just in general.
promote
like, check out my
your
band,
social
check out-
media stuff that people like timeless.
I've got
stuff.
some music online. Check this out, or that
Like-
other thing, or whatever.
Twitter, Instagram.
I'm on the internet.
John Kalman
I'm
is on
places
the internet.
I'm in some
That's
bands.
JOHNKALMAN.
Do you have a central repository of
If you would like to get a hold of me, it's fjohnk@gmail.
EFF or
No,
just the letter
Just
F?
the letter F.
As if your name was Francis John Kalman.
Yes, fjohnk, JOHNK, fjohnk@gmail.
All right, and
Just
then
if
you can
wanna
just
send me stuff.
you can put them on your mailing list and send them everything.
Just send me stuff.
You make your own music. You make music with other people.
Yeah, I do all kinds of stuff.
Sometimes you write poetry.
I do write all kinds of poetry.
I actually I have sorry if
You work
this
the door at
question,
one of the premier
is
music
insensitive
clubs
or
in
brings up
Cleveland.
any-
Legendary
I
legendary
sit-
venue.
I sit at the door.
I've been gone for 2 years.
People could come in and pay double.
You may know me already. You might not know it. What happened?
I've been gone for 2 years. Who have you been playing out with lately, band wise? Like when I left, you were in Founding Fathers, and
I play. Well, I'm playing drums in a project called Fits of Hail. That's pretty awesome.
Fits of Hail. All right, I'll look out for that.
That's cool stuff. It's a Chris Anderson.
Kind of psychedelic rock.
It's like weird pop stuff. It's
Yeah.
like weird pop music.
But I know a bunch of the guys in that, and they're all super talented.
There's
The-
a bunch of. I feel really. I'm lucky to be in a band with those dudes.
Yeah.
They're dudes that have been around for a long time, doing stuff in this town for a long time. It's cool. And then I my solo stuff, and then I do this new project called Telstar that'll be coming out probably by the time this is on the internets.
I saw some rumblings about that.
That should be fun. That should be fun times. That's with Steve Melman.
Don't forget to neuter and spay your pets.
I already stopped the recording.